Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Theater of Football. I'm Mike Hodem. Today I'm joined by Patrick Heinrich
Hey everybody.
and also by Jeremy Forbes.
Hey everyone.
Well, I want to get right into it. After the West Ham draw yesterday for United, to me it went to show how pivotal a player Luke Shaw is in our squad and in our good run of form. So I'm going to start with you, Patrick. Do you see Luke Shaw in a similar light?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Luke Shaw is integral in the attack, and I definitely think that his absence has been missed fully. And I think to all of the people who for over the last 6 or 7 months periodically put down Shaw's performance and on the grander scale, I think are seeing that his absence is being missed in our attacking formation and in the rhythm that we develop. And I think that, if he is able to play against Leicester this Sunday, I think that would be put us in a much better position. But I agree, his absence is noticeable.
Definitely. Jeremy, do you have anything to add?
I think in regards to Luke Shaw, I have been one of those individuals that have been up and down in regards to him. I've been increasingly frustrated throughout the years with his injury proneness, to his lack of being able to stay at a high level fitness thing. But at the end of the day, if he's doing well right now, I'm happy for him. And and yes, I can see where he's been significantly helping the team this season, probably more, I would say, from the restart. So in that regard, sometimes it is a bad kind of the bad luck of the draw, or bad luck if a player has not been having the best of times, but then refound form and they get knocked back by injury.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. His injury record is frustrating for a lot
Yeah.
of us because it seems like when he gets a good run of games going, you start to see what he can bring to the table. I don't think he's the greatest defensive left back, and I don't think he's the greatest attacking left back either, but he does both well enough that right now his width, his willing to constantly overlap, like you said, Patrick, in our attack, to constantly overlap Rashford on that
Yeah.
left-hand side gives us that extra option. And Brandon Williams, quite frankly, he's a right-footed left back, so he's not going to be as keen to get around Rashford and get to the byline onto his left foot,
Mm-hmm.
which is weaker foot. So kind of keeping on the Luke Shaw train here. Ole said before the West Ham game that he thought Luke Shaw might play a role. He ended up not even being on the bench. Um, Going into Sunday, if Luke Shaw is at all fit, given the ramifications of Sunday's match, if he can at all play, like even if there's consideration that he could re-injure himself, would you put him in the lineup?
I would.
Yeah, I would
Patrick,
start him.
sorry, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, we both agree. We both agree. We definitely start him. I think just because it's the last game of the Premier League season, I think it's okay, to risk a possible re-injury just to put him in with the amount that he's adding to the game.
What did you say, Jeremy? You agreed to?
Yeah, I would agree to start him. I think that would be the best option to go with, even if sadly it might hurt in some other area in the future for us. I think this game is a make or break pretty much for our club's continued positive projection and direction. We're at a very almost like delicate time right now for the club.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many positive things that we could see going forward, but we have so many blaring things that if they don't get righted, it could just tip the scale in the other direction very quickly. So I think a game like this where you can ultimately, push the club back into, you know, the Champions League, talk that helps from not only a financial perspective, but a very kind of emotional perspective, which the players desperately need, and the club needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is important to keep in mind that we would still have the Europa League potentially as a backup plan.
The fallback.
But to Jeremy's point, if we can clinch it on Sunday, that gives you an extra 3 weeks to plan for transfers, because your transfer activity is going to change drastically depending upon whether you qualify for the Champions League or Europa League, right?
Yeah, and if you're waiting for Europa, like at the end of the day, that will detriment, like you said, the transfer thing. Because even if we're looked at as favorites for that, that's still not going to convince players to seal transfers earlier. It would just drag out the market for us, which is not what we need right
now. No, definitely not. With how Woodward negotiates, we don't need any added time or any less time for him to get a deal done.
Or any less incentive for players to come.
He's like an old person in a grocery store. Hurry up, Woodward! Hurry up!
Yeah, he'll get kicked out of Myers 10 minutes from closing time. But staying on Sunday's game here, given the last few especially the last two matches, like, are you guys? What are you expecting? Because I'm all over the map as to what I expect. I'll start with you this time, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think I fall into a pretty much a similar category as you. I think, like I was saying before, in regards to what will happen from a transfer perspective, I think the club has a lot of positive things going on right now. But I think there's also a lot of pressure. And usually, like you said, like a true champion should relish the thought of pressure instead of crumbling under it. But I think because the club is at such a delicate kind of point right now, we don't have as much kind of to fall back on. Because in the times of Sir Alex Ferguson, when the club was at pressure points, they could look back upon times when they overcame and conquered that pressure and could use that as motivation. But if we're talking about right now, there's not a lot of that can be done from this current club. So, or this current set of players. Like, there's not a lot of past pressure experiences that they can use to say, we overcame during this moment of pressure. So it's important that that the club kind of has some further growth, player growth from an emotional standpoint, from a trust standpoint. And I just think it's just the timing, like how well we did out of the blocks when the league restarted. If we were able to not have that continued pressure to be doing this amount of run of games constantly, I think that would have still been the case, but would have also built up a little bit more kind of toughness in regards to consistency, so we wouldn't be all over the place right now.
Okay, everything you said was, I agree with. It's good points, but so all of that, how does that lead you into what do you expect on Sunday?
I expect us to come out shaky, but I have faith that there can be brilliance from one or two players here and there and I actually do believe that the club now, unlike in other seasons, have this thought in their minds that we can get goals, and we can get goals out of nowhere. So even if they do come out shaky and maybe we lose a goal, that won't derail the team.
God, I hope we don't fall behind.
Yeah. With that being said, if it happened, I would rather it happen earlier on in the game. You don't want it to happen past the 70th minute. That's not going to work.
Yeah. I don't want it to happen at all. I don't care if it's the first minute or the 90th minute. I don't want it to happen at all. It's already going to be a nerve-wracking 3 days leading up to the end of that match on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sadly to say though, I think that would be a healthier option for the club than the other option.
What's the other option?
The other option is that the game is kind of like just blah, and then Leicester City gets something in like the 70th minute.
Well, yeah. Of course, it's better if we give up a goal to score earlier. I agree with you there, but I don't. I don't want us conceding. I don't want us falling behind at all. That's my point. Like, I don't care when it is. I don't want that. But
we've played drastically better in the last 3 games when we have been put under the pressure of actually losing a goal.
Chelsea?
No, not that one. But Bournemouth.
I see where you're coming from, Jeremy. I think that we've definitely like excelled in some situations where we've been a goal down, and we've seen, our team come back and Rashford and Martial and Fernandez coming in and scoring and getting points. But
I gave them a kick up the butt.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, something is a little different for me even in the last 3 games. Like, they don't seem confident that they can do that again. Like, I think if Leicester scores early in the game on Sunday, I think the best we can hope for is another goal and a draw. I don't think we can muster up another point after that if we go down early.
Yeah, that's I guess Patrick kind of explained it best. What I was thinking too was that Jeremy, you're right. The Bournemouth response was great. Even the Southampton response was good before we ultimately conceded in stoppage time. But
and even this last game.
And what's that?
And even this last game with Greenwood.
But we didn't respond well after we fell behind. I didn't think we responded well at all in that game. I thought that goal kind of came out of nothing, to be honest. I mean, it was some brilliance combination play between Greenwood and Martial. I didn't think we really did anything better. We created that one opportunity, and Greenwood was what we've come to expect, to be clinical. But I didn't think the response, even though we got the goal back, was that good, because I didn't think we played much better before that goal, and I thought we played just as bad after the goal. It's just what I think you were saying too, that we have the confidence that all of a sudden we can score a goal, but I don't want us to rely on that. I don't want us to fall behind a goal, and I don't think us falling behind a goal is necessarily a kick up the backside anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think, like in Bournemouth, like you said, also another example was Southampton in that game too, where we went down early in a goal. I mean, the response was immediate. Like, we came back, we strung together some great plays and put a ball in the net, like in the next 10 minutes after they score the goal, or less than 10 minutes. That you did not see in the West Ham game.
Well, to be fair as well, the West Ham goal was right on the stroke of
right at the end. Yeah.
So, you weren't going to get that immediate response. But even the period leading up to Greenwood's goal, I didn't think we did much at all. And after that, I thought West Ham were the better side. They looked more likely to get the winner.
Yeah, and certainly not in the Chelsea game. I mean,
yeah, the Chelsea game, that was just dire. That was bad. So I think Jeremy, you're right that it has been a good wake up call in matches. 2 weeks ago, Southampton, Bournemouth, that helped us out. But I don't want us to. I don't want us to need that on Sunday. And I think if we do get it, it's not going to be the right. I think heads will drop, and the players won't pick up their intensity. I think it could be tough. I mean, we could get back into it, like you were saying, with individual brilliance from Martial and Greenwood combining like they did against West Ham. But it could also mean, Leicester still have, Jamie Vardy on the pitch and a couple other decent players going forward. So who also like to play on the break. So if we have a lot of possession of doing nothing, we could leave ourselves exposed, and it could end up being 2 or 3. So I don't I really think we need to do our best to keep things as tight as possible at the back. Even I'm not saying park the bus, but we can't. I don't think we need to. We can approach the game expansively.
I'm looking forward to Leicester continuing their streak of own goals. And I hope that comes through and helps us.
Johnny Evans, brilliant.
What?
Maybe he'll get a couple of those cards he should have gotten in the last game.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know if Leicester might be improved if Johnny Evans gets sent off. That might free them up to do some damage.
I'd say it's about time that Johnny Evans gets another goal for United. I mean, it's only been 10 years, right?
That's right. I don't think he got enough for us when he was on our books, so he should get one for us on Sunday. No,
darn straight.
Hopefully Martial or Rashford scores a hat trick or something. Greenwood, I don't know. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be a perfect situation because I think some of these last two games. There's been a little bit off in regards to Rashford. So if he could get on this game, even if one of the other players goes off, I think that would be a great thing to happen.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because Rashford has been off the past couple games, and Patrice Evra actually went in on Rashford after the West Ham game, saying because his fellow pundits were going in on Pogba for doing this and blocking the ball, and Evra is, of course, a friend of Pogba's, and so he wanted to deflect attention, and he goes in on Rashford saying that his performances aren't good enough. I think I'm paraphrasing, but his performance basically wasn't good enough, and that if he wants to be the true talisman or the leader of United, he needs to do better. So, I mean, does that – watching that game, I thought maybe there were two players that were decent, Martial and Greenwood. And besides that, no one really covered themselves in glory. Is it really beneficial that we have ex-players bickering over which player to blame for this?
No, not really. Not really. I think that can make the situation worse because for as much as you want to tell people, don't be emotional, be a professional and just focus on what you need to do. Like we live in a vicious age where without fail, sometimes we will come across these things in the news and we'll hear these things and it will get to us. We're human. We're human beings. We are. For as much as they get paid, they're emotional and they're human beings as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why Evra wanted to defend his friend Pogba, but he took it the wrong. I mean, his approach was not good to blame another player. His approach should have been what we're thinking. Hey, none of those players were. That the whole collective was poor today, or against West Ham, and then also on Sunday against Chelsea. So it's just not good enough from the whole team.
Yeah. My issue with Pogba though is this: that when it comes down to him, for as much as he has asked for as much as he has demanded, for as much as he is a superstar, his maturity with us as a club, only with us specifically as a club, has been extremely poor. Extremely poor. Like for a star of that size, I don't care. Like if you're a pretty boy, not a pretty boy, take it on the face. Like that's what it is. That's what the job is.
Yeah. Or don't duck and throw your hands up. That's all I'll say.
Exactly. Just make an executive decision and just get the heck out of the way. Don't bring your hands into it. Just duck.
Yeah, right.
And hope De Gea sees it and can save it.
Yeah.
To your point about Pogba, I think he gets some stick that's not fair because of what his agent says, and he doesn't necessarily come out and refute it. But you have an excellent point because you could see it in the past few games. He had mistakes. What was it? Was it the Southampton game where he gave the ball away cheaply for their first goal, and where he thought he could turn where he was 25 yards from our own goal and just dribble straight forward, not thinking somebody would close him down.
Yeah.
And then you have this now, And for a player whose rumblings in the background, maybe he's not saying it, but the rumblings are he wants to play for a bigger club. Well, you could argue he's cost us 4 points in the past 3 league games, right? So it'd be one thing if he wasn't influencing games, but when you're actively creating the problem that's leading us to lose points, it'll be interesting to see now if we lose to Leicester on Sunday and Chelsea get a result against Wolves, if he suddenly isn't happy at United and wants to leave again. Because to me,
he would. That's the sad part. He would.
Because I mean, he might. I'm not going to say one way or another. His agent will definitely come out and say, oh, he needs a bigger club. But
it's just posturing.
Yeah, but it's very difficult. It's very disappointing, I should say, if he ends up leaving after this year and we don't have Champions League football. And he committed 2 huge errors that led to us not getting 4 points. So if you just commit one of those errors, maybe we get 2 other points and we're sitting a little bit prettier. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where that's at. So that's an excellent point, Jeremy. Because as far as I think he gets flack for his social media presence, which isn't warranted. The flack, I mean, isn't warranted. You know, if he wants to be active on social media, fine. But if you do that, he needs to perform on the pitch and not do stupid things like he did against West Ham.
Yeah, that's very immature as supposedly a superstar in this sport. It's very immature. It's very simple. Like that's a routine type simple mistake for a player that isn't, supposed to be one of the top players in the world.
Right.
Top players in the world should be doing that.
Well, that's actually funny you say that, because it'd be hard for me to find a player in the Championship or League One who would bring his hands up to block his. They'd all take it right in the face.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they're professionals. They might not be superstars, but they're professionals.
They're not. They're making Pogba's salary in the span of that Pogba's salary in a week in the span of 2 years. But that still makes them professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to send Pogba back to the U10, U12 reflex training where you don't put your hands up for everything when you're playing soccer or playing football.
Yes, that's a great way to put him on the next boat to Spain. but it's a good point. I mean, somebody needs to get through to him, and Ole did say he shouldn't have done that, but I don't know. If I was his manager,
no one fears Ole though right now. Like none of those players fear him.
Yeah, I would have torn Pogba apart in that dressing room at halftime.
Yeah.
Players feared Mourinho more than they fear Pogba, than they fear Ole.
Yeah, I mean they feared
sometimes. What?
Oh, I said they feared Mourinho, and they just stopped, but they stopped playing for him too.
Yeah. Interesting time.
There's a difference between.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue. I'm gonna have to get back to me.
Well, I think that's it for this episode of Theater of Football. I think we're going to go ahead and close the curtains. Lively debate on what will be expected on Sunday. Actually, there's one more thing, Patrick. I want to ask you a question.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking at some odds. I like to gamble a little bit. We can do that where I live. And I was looking at the Man City Norwich match for Sunday, and Norwich is 33-1 odds to win that match. Is that worth a punt? Would you?
It's worth $10 to me.
Yeah, $10. Bring in 330.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. I'd put some money on that.
That'll be a nice steak dinner when the restaurants reopen.
Yeah.
And if you go on steak dinner, please take me.
Well, then you'll have to put your You have to add $10 to the pot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Well, I'll put in $10, so $30. Do
We're
it.
all putting in $30. Jeremy knows my usual bet is a dime, 10 cents.
Yep.
Nice.
That's my standard bet, the minimum.
Just put a 0 on that and you'll be good to go. Or 2 zeros on that and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, 2 zeros. Yeah,
Matt.
you got it. Yeah. No, but this time I am going to close the curtains on the theater of football. Thank you all for watching. Please let us know in the comments section what you expect on Sunday with United and Leicester, and really let us know. We didn't really get into it, but what you think might happen with the relegation battle and what might happen with Chelsea's match with Wolves. So just hit the like button and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. For Patrick and Jeremy, I'm Mike. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Oh, hello. Thank you for watching the Theater of Football. If you think Mike got it wrong yet again, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below.